Ryan Day working hard to defend former Ohio State quarterback Justin Fields. The day began with Peter King's Football Morning in America, and he had quotes from Dan Orlovsky talking about the storm of something other than sand that happened last week when Orlovsky shared some things he was hearing from teams that were negative about Justin Fields. Ryan Day defending Fields. And I got no problem with Ryan Day defending his guy. And I love the defense against the idea that Justin Fields doesn't love football by pointing to what he did in that Clemson game when he got blown up in the first half and went on to have one of the great games of his career. And what he did to keep the 2020 season on track when it was done, when it was gone, when it was over. They had to resurrect the 2020 season, and Justin Fields was at the forefront of that. That's fine. But don't use it as a platform to take shots at the guys who conscientiously sat the year out because of concerns about the pandemic, whether it was their own health or the health of their family members. And for Ryan Day to say, and anyone out there who wants to make excuses for Ryan Day, who wants to say, well, you have to understand the full context of what he said. Look, he said what he said, and he didn't have to throw shade at the guys who chose to opt out, but he did. Where was everybody else? Where were the guys who were opting out then? You know, you don't love the game if you're doing something like that. That's what he said. And I haven't seen him say he didn't say it. You know, I was concerned because Peter wrote the story. And frankly, I was a little surprised Peter didn't press pause and say, that's uncalled for by Ryan Day. So I wrote it. That's uncalled for by Ryan Day. I was a little surprised Ryan Day didn't try to say he didn't say what he said, Shireen.
Yeah, absolutely, Mike. And he did go too far. And I appreciate him defending Justin Fields, although I think it came a few days late. But at the same time, he went too far. There's no question about that. You look at a guy like Virginia Tech quarterback Caleb Farley, who opted out, whose mom had died, and he was concerned about his father's health and didn't want to bring that home and had several family members with COVID. And you're going to tell this guy he doesn't love football because he decided not to play last year? That's ridiculous. An Ohio State study, of all places, Ohio State did a study, and it included 26 male and female athletes, Mike. 30% of those that they tested had heart problems after having COVID. That was done at Ohio State. So how you can sit there after 550,000 people in America have died of COVID-19 and say that, it's just unfathomable to me that anybody would think that or say that.
Yeah, look, I agree completely. And I'm surprised sometimes when I don't know why it hasn't been a bigger deal. I don't. I thought when I wrote that story and I pressed publish and I went back and looked at it and I saw the initial reaction, I thought this is going to be a long day for Ryan Day. And he deserved it. He made his bed. And I'm surprised it hasn't been a bigger deal for Ryan Day. And maybe it's something that just needs to take a little time to sink in and people realize that it was wrong. But it was wrong. It was wrong for him to say that. I don't care how hard he was trying to defend Justin Fields. It was completely uncalled for him to suggest that the players who decided not to fatten his bank account by playing for free. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Playing for tuition, board, room, and snacks, the fair trade for the billions that football players generate. They decided to put their health and the health of their family over not getting paid to play football, and they get called out by Ryan Day. I kind of like the fact that he showed who he is. And frankly, now, you know, I was going to get on a soapbox and say, hey, if I had a son or a nephew or a cousin or whoever who was thinking about where to go play major college football, that would be a factor. But then I would take a step back and say, you know what? They're all that way. He's just the one who accidentally said the quiet thing out loud, Shireen.
Yeah, no question, Mike. And you think about what players give up to play high school football, college football, pro football, you get paid for it, but it's broken bones, and it's the risk of torn ligaments, and it's the risk of lifelong brain injuries and everything else that goes along with football, career-threatening injuries. And these guys put it all on the line when they go play for nothing else other than, as you said, room, board, and some snacks along the way, at least legally, as the NCAA allows it right now. But these guys put it all on the line. To think that they don't love football is just ridiculous. And to opt out that they don't love football is even more ridiculous.
We talked about this last week in the context of the reckoning that the NCAA is currently facing in the U.S. Supreme Court. Tyrone Prothro, Career-ending injury while playing for free for Alabama. Could have gone on to play in the NFL. Could have been a great player. Could have made millions of dollars working at a bank. There was I don't know if it was on Real Sports with Brian Gumbel. Somebody did a look at Tyrone Prothro long after the fact. Never got to have that career. Why? Because he risked his health to go play college football because he doesn't have any other alternative. The NFL and the NFLPA force you to go for 3 years and go play college football, and he suffered a serious injury. What was really there for him? So that's what we're talking about. And in this case, whether it's concern for their own health, concern for a family member's health, the idea that guys opted out means they don't love football is bull crap. Sorry. Even though there's plenty of profanity on Peacock, I got to take this up with somebody. A lot of movies with profanity, a lot of TV shows with profanity. I can't drop an S-bomb once in a while. I don't know how I feel about that, but I prefer to remain employed, so I won't.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.